we're gonna get to this book, okay? Because we only got about 20 minutes to discuss, and then we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna get to our new training, okay? We're all really excited about. We've got tons of material for everybody here, okay?
She was.
All right.
I'm not gonna be on camera. I'll tell you that now.
Well, yeah, it's off. Don't worry, it's off.
Yeah, like. You know I trust you.
It's off. Okay, so Jean, you read chapter? No. And you got yogurt. Oh no.
How did you get a yogurt?
Such a cheater.
I said I didn't read it, and you had me yogurt. I'm supposed to say no.
Wow.
Honesty
Wow.
and integrity.
I said I didn't read it.
Juan got a couple old
I think
toppings.
I-
You read the chapter.
I got 6 books over here full of being
What? We just
honest
got
and integrity.
You want more yogurt? I
What
can't
is
eat
this?
it
What
because
is
it's
that?
freezing.
I'm just kidding.
Carl,
Robin,
did you read
happy
the chapter?
birthday.
Thank
No,
you.
I just said I did so I get your.
Ah!
I read the book. I just didn't read it today.
Okay, well, it was only like 2.5 pages, so you know. So,
No, that's really bad.
okay, Carl, you get to go first. We'll start on this side of the room. What did you think of the chapter? What were your takeaways?
Yeah, so again, to me, it's talking about looking, instead of taking a negative approach to people, try to take a positive approach, kind of inspire them to do something better rather than downgrade them because they didn't do something the way you wanted them to. So I thought of something that Joey posted on Facebook. He said, you know, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And so that approach with other people, I think, is good too. If we try to be positive with other people and approach their potential and try to inspire them rather than cut them down, I think that goes along with.
Absolutely does. Absolutely. Of course, the title of the chapter is How to Criticize and Not Be Hated. So, I mean, I think that kind of goes with if you're going to be critical, because there's times that you have to be critical about something. If you start that conversation off with what's going right, if you compliment, if you encourage, then, you know, everything all right over there? Okay, moving on. Thank you, Carl. Ava, did you read the chapter?
Most of it.
What'd you think?
I think that it was similar to what Carl said. You want to approach criticism in a positive tone instead of just being negative and putting the person down. You actually give them the opportunity to realize and reflect that they did make an error and then change their actions for the better.
That's right. That's absolutely right. You gotta point it out, but point it out in a way that's tactful. Oscar, Lori, did you guys get it in?
No.
Yeah? Monica?
Same as Carl, Eva, but it's how you say it. It's how you tell someone, like the example of Johnny, like I want y'all to hear how they first, about his grades. They said, we're really proud of you, Johnny, for raising your grades this term, but if you had worked harder on your algebra, the results would have been better. Instead, to use this, we're really proud of you, Johnny, for raising your grades this term, and by continuing the same conscientious efforts that next term, your algebra grade can be up with all the others. Now he's more prone to raise his grades and do because he accepts the praise instead of the but.
Yeah. And I think a lot of parents are missing it there because they give their child, or anybody for that matter, a compliment, but, you know, and then it just comes, and here you were, you know, feeling that appreciation, and all of a sudden it's just, anything you say after you say the but,
You don't hear it.
it's just like,
It's gone. They like
it's
took
gone.
it away. They gave it to you and took it.
They gave it, or just kind
That's
of,
what my dad does.
well, see, there you go. And I think,
He'll like give something and then he just
well,
rips
yeah.
it right away from you.
And that's why
So she's
I think a lot of
good.
parents could do well by reading this book, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I was gonna say, is
Yeah, give
I
me a
haven't
copy
read
of
the book, but from the little discussions I've heard, it does sound a lot like child psychology, the whole book.
Sure.
So we can all take a lot away from that,
Yeah.
even though, you know, some of us have already raised our children. I have
Yeah.
12 grandchildren.
Mhm.
And so that helps influence my children to remember how they were raised,
Oh,
to
yeah.
continue that with their children.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've tried really hard with my sons, you know, because you know, that sometimes, gosh, you know, they did good in this class, but I mean, they failed math or something like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'll give them the praise, you know, but I'm looking for a way to fit in the criticism. But sometimes I just leave that for a separate time altogether. You know what I mean? In other words, I'm going to give you praise, and that's going to be, we're going to remember this moment, and then when the time comes, we're going to work on this other thing. You know, I'm not going to, you know, confuse you with giving you praise and then saying, but, you know, you really did bad over here. You know what I mean? So, Robin, did you read the chapter?
No.
Okay.
It's your birthday.
It's her birthday. Okay.
Wait, but I didn't get to because what happened?
I never gave you my book.
It's all mine.
It's all your
Mine-
Yeah.
It's all your fault, and
I'll
she's
take
the
the
center of the
blame
show
today.
right now, so.
And Monica got yogurt.
I got yogurt. I shared with you,
I'm
Mr.
just
Not
kidding.
Leader.
I'm
I
just
read
kidding.
it.
Oh,
Juan, what did you think of the chapter, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the group, you know, talking about being positive and not trying to be, you know, passive aggressive on the negative side. And then the story about the Marines, where that guy was talking about the haircuts
Mhm.
and the standards,
Yeah.
of looking a certain way, and trying to motivate them, you know, not trying to like force them to cut their hair a certain way, but saying, hey, you know what, I mean, we have standards here, and if you just do this, you know, your leadership qualities and your leadership skills are gonna go to that next level. And sure enough, I mean, you know, a lot of the people volunteered to do it, and they started noticing a big difference. So the way you communicate, you know, positivity, and trying to, you know, not be so negative in how you comment on something, or and just doing it in a positive, encouraging way all the time, that's gonna really take you, you know, a long way for leadership.
Absolutely. It's a great trait. Great leadership trait. Claudia, what did you think?
Well, I agree with what they were saying too. It's constructive criticism, not criticizing to bring that person down. So you have to find a way to be able to get that point across to them to where it benefits them and helps them instead of, you know, discouraging them. So going along with one of the stories here, I like the one where it was with the builder and the mother and the kids picked up the whole mess after the builder left. And then I don't know if the guy, the main person, was there, but she was just mentioned to him how she loved the way they left it afterwards. So just hinting to him,
Even though they hadn't left it that way.
even they didn't leave it that way, but
Right.
just hinting to him that, you know, it looked nice, and that way, after that, he kept up with it. He kept asking her before they left if he liked the way that, she liked the way that he left the home. So it was just a way to help him to be better,
Right.
but without discouraging him.
I think that's too. That's what you want to pick up from this chapter is how to subtly do it. Like, for example, in the first example in the book, where Charles Schwab, he was running through his business and he saw some guy smoking indoors, and you know, he could have told him, you know, quit smoking here, get out, you know, but instead he went back and he pulled out some of his finest cigars from his humidor, and he came and gave it to the guys and said, hey guys, here's some cigars. I'd really appreciate it if you smoke these outside, you know? So it's a subtle shift there, you know what I mean? It's like, there's a criticism there, but it's given with the same time as praise, you know? And with the story that you spoke about, that's the subtleness of it, you know? They say, yeah, we're the ones that did it, but I really like the way that it is, and so there's a subtle criticism there. I really like the part at the end too, the story where the speech, you know, he was talking about, he was writing out a speech, and his wife basically read it over and realized, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a real snooze. But instead of saying that, she said, you know what, this would make a great article for, you know, the Atlantic Journal Review of some sort, which is a really boring newspaper. You know what I mean? And so he got the subtle hint, which is, you know what, maybe I ought to, you know, kick this up a notch, you know? So I think if you can find a way to be subtle with your criticism, you know what I mean? People appreciate it so much more. You know, it's the same thing like with our clients. You know what I mean? There's times where we have to tell them some things that, you know, are a little bit of a criticism of what they do. But if you can find a way to be subtle about it and not just blatantly say you're wrong, don't ever do that again, or how could you, or you'd have to be an idiot to do that, you know what I mean, or things like that, you're gonna find a lot better reactions out of folks by just being subtle. Okay? So that's what I got. So the next chapter of our book is talk about your own mistakes first. Okay? Talk about your own mistakes first. And this chapter is only only 1, 2, 3, 3.5 pages long. Okay? If you catch this into the book here, even this little tiny bit right here, it's going to help you tremendously. Okay? I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. You can take some of the most successful people on this planet that have praised this book time and time and time and time again, and have read it over and over and over and over and over again. And that's why I love this book. It's like everybody knows it. Everybody that has had success and is kind of. You talk to guys like Dave Ramsey, guys like Zig Ziglar. He would always talk about this book. Chris Donham, just the list goes on and on of people that are really have done big things and can do big things, talking about this book all the time. So, it's totally worth it, and the chapters are so short. I mean, they're easy to digest. It just kind of, literally, I didn't read it till about an hour ago, and I knocked it out in about 15 minutes, so that's how quickly you can knock them out. Okay? All right.